Good morning, Mother Oafers. It is Dave Bernard. It is Wednesday, February 27th, 2019. And it is weigh-in Wednesday. Not good. If you check the ticker down below, you will see that I did not lose any weight this last 7 days, which is actually bullshit, and we're going to talk about that at 7:30. There's some sabotage involved. Anyways, for any of you that are new to the stream, again, my name is Dave Bernard. I am a 47-year-old fat man who was basically told January 4th or January 3rd actually of this year that I was too fat to have my umbilical surgery. Not really. Basically, I was told that I needed to lose some weight in order to have a more successful recovery, and so I have chosen to get on the bike and also stream and share my journey with everybody. What you're looking at here is a program called Zwift, and I am riding my 2018 Raleigh Willard 2 gravel bike attached to a Wahoo Kickr 18, and of course we're streaming along here on the app called Zwift. Now, I'm definitely new to all of this. I started almost immediately on this journey. So I think around January 6th or so was when I started, when I went and bought the equipment and started putting together the stream and all of that. So there are some glitches that happen quite often. So I apologize up front if you have to witness those. But the way that I have got this set up is that the first half of the ride we just talk about who I am, why I'm doing this, and then at around 7:30 we try to have a topic to talk about, just to keep it from being too boring for everybody. So again, my name is Dave Bernard, 47-year-old fat man. I started off at 313 pounds. I am currently at 316 pounds. Not the way I wanted to go. And I am giving myself until January of 2020 to get down to what I call Mission 44, or 244 pounds, which is the weight that equates to the BMI that my surgeon would like me to be at. So my surgeon would like me to be at a BMI of 35. And for me, that's 244 pounds. As I continue to tell everybody, I highly suggest they do what I'm doing, even if it's not riding a bike. Zwift actually has a running application also, or you can run in the same exact world. And so if that's your thing, do that. I also suggest that you consider streaming, because I find it actually helps get things moving along or going on real good. I mean, it gives me the motivation. I'm assuming it would give you the same thing. And it's such a distraction to actually have to go through all of the little things you've got to do to make this work, that by the time I'm usually relaxed and just riding, I end up in a position where the ride's almost over. So I come on here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and I ride for an hour, and we talk. And I can tell you that you guys joining in actually helps me, and today was another one of those days. I would not be here right now if it wasn't for the fact that I knew somebody would be on here watching and hold me accountable. And so I don't really feel that great today. But what the hell, I'm on here anyways, because I need to be. And you know, there's a lot of things that people talk about as far as cycling, whether it's the right exercise or not, and I actually believe it's not. But for my situation with the hernia, I had to figure out what worked for me, and also something that I enjoyed doing. And of course, tying all this technical stuff to it is actually a benefit to me also, because that's my thing. I'm a geek. I like figuring out how stuff works. Speaking of that, the last few streams, if you follow along, the biggest issue that I've had is that my camera's froze up again. And I wanted to take a little time over the last couple days and work on fixing that, figure out exactly what was causing the issue again. And I didn't. I actually didn't do anything about it. But what did happen, and what may have been causing it, OBS updated their software for the first time in, I think, a year and a half, I believe. I'm not sure. And so they had a major overhaul, and that overhaul included working with your GPU. For me, you know, everything that I've seen so far, it's an NVIDIA graphics card, that update that they made. I don't run a NVIDIA, and I haven't changed any of my settings yet, but I did go in and look at them a little bit this morning, and there is actually an AMD setting that nobody's talked about. But I didn't want to mess with that today, just because I felt like that would possibly mess up the entire route or ride this morning, me playing around with it too much. So I've left it alone. I'll do that either tonight or tomorrow when I get a chance to look at or do some recordings and just test and make sure that things aren't gonna freeze up on me by making changes. So which is how I've done this whole thing all along. I've tried to make changes, do some recordings, look at the recordings, and then get on and get live, and then find new problems and try to fix those problems. Again, I'm new to this. It's not that it's complicated for a lot of people, but for me, because it's all new, you know, it takes me a little bit longer. Plus, I'm old. I'm old as fuck, right? Oh. So if you didn't know what OAF stood for, there you go. And one thing about it, I'm not going to get younger. So, but yeah, this, you know, doing this thing every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday has been a benefit to me, because it's forced me to get out of bed and do this even when I don't feel good. Today I don't feel good. I don't have an exact, I don't really have a headache, but I can feel one kind of coming on. You know, and then, like I said, at 7:30 we're going to talk a little bit about sabotage, and the other reason I probably don't feel that great. And you can imagine what I'm probably going to talk about, but it's a problem that I think we all have in life and being successful. So if you want to hold on and tune me out until 7:30, that's totally fine. Hey, good morning, Melissa. Thanks for watching. So I'm running a couple different things so everybody knows. So I've got a couple of screens running up here. One of them has my OBS software so I can monitor what's going on there. One has my chat system, which is through Restream right now. And the other screen actually has the Zwift game, which is what you're seeing me ride on. And then down here, I actually have my phone so I can monitor Facebook Live. Now I could do that on the screens, but one of the disadvantages of being old as F is that my eyeballs don't work so great. So, matter of fact, I actually have my, I guess you'd call it annual vision test this morning at 10 o'clock to find out if I need to change anything with my glasses, and I'm going to get some shades this time, which I don't have right now. And I'm probably going to get some that are for cycling more than for fashion. But we'll see. So Eventually you'll probably see some ridiculousness of me actually wearing sunglasses indoors in the morning when there's no need for them. But, you know, y'all have to deal with it. Thanks, Melissa. Appreciate it. Like I said before, and I continuously say in all these streams, anybody jumping on and supporting me, it just makes me get out of bed. And from a motivational standpoint, I need that. I wish I could say I'm able to have the pure inner motivation to do this stuff by myself, but I don't, and I think a lot of people struggle with that. It's easy to hit the snooze button. It's easy to say I'll do it tomorrow, but when you make a commitment and you go public like I have, and now really public because I'm streaming, you almost don't have a choice. And for somebody like me, I need that. So it's not enough to do it just for myself. Something inside of me feels like there has to be a bigger purpose. Even though my purpose is enough, my personal health should be enough, I feel like I have to have that extra purpose of either inspiring or helping others. And so that's part of why I do this. And yes, there are links to things that I make a very small commission on, including my own merch. And all that is, if you guys decide to purchase things, that's just to help support the channel. I don't expect to get rich on any of those things, but you know, if I made a couple dollars that helps pay for some of this, then great. So if you feel like I've inspired you, or if you're even into some of the merchandise that I have at oaflife.com, you can go to the store. I went with a new vendor, so we're using Spreadshirt now, and I've used them in the past for different companies, but there's something you dig on there, go ahead and buy it, man. It just helps me out a little bit. Like I said, I'm not becoming rich. I'm hopefully making enough to help support this effort, to keep the stream going, to pay for some of the equipment that I need to do this. Or in other cases, if you just dig it, buy it anyway. You know, buy it because you like it. Don't worry about what it is. So we've got a few things. I'm trying to not saturate the merchandise right now. So I have quite a few more designs coming out. Most of those are related to the AF line. So you know, so we've got a few of them out there right now. A few of the designs out there right now. The old Dash AF and Grumpy Dash AF are the two that have dropped so far. We even decided to put some baby gear out there, so some onesies for the Grumpy Dash AF. So even though it's an old person channel, obviously it's still relative, and so there'll be some more coming. When you know, and just keep an eye on our Facebook page, Oaf Life, and you'll see those shirts and gear coming out. And if you dig it, dig it. You know, buy some. If you don't, it's cool. If you think it's dumb, comment and tell me it's dumb. I don't care. You know, all feedback's good feedback. And there are some other things that are happening this week too in my life that are pretty, I guess they're big. I don't know how else to say it. We'll use the president's terminology. It's very big. Tomorrow, I am going to Jackson, Michigan what's up, man? Good morning. So tomorrow I'm going to Jackson, Michigan, and I'm going to be meeting with my master agency for insurance, and we're going to be finalizing the closing of my business. And you know, we've already talked about this and failure and stuff, but it's been one of those things where I've known I needed to close the business for a long time, for quite a few months. It's been apparent that the business model that I have isn't working. And so the best solution is just to close it. So tomorrow's going to be that official day. And that sucks. I mean, failure sucks. But I know when I finally made that decision and we kind of came to an agreement of how the separation was going to happen, that I felt a major relief personally. And so, though I should be probably dwelling in everything and reflecting on all of the failure, with the encouragement of some of my friends and some of the people I've talked to through this process, you know, I know that something better is going to happen. Now, one of the advantages of being old is that we've failed a lot. You know, anybody that's 47 years old has had failure one way or the other. Whether it's a relationship that didn't work, whether it's a business that didn't work, you know, we've had things that have happened to us. So the fortunate thing, we'll keep the glass half full, is that I've had a lot of that in my life. And so I'm not super fazed by the failure, and I can get over it fairly quick and start looking towards the future. Now, I've been struggling through getting my resume up and running, or up to date, over the last few months, even though I promised that I would get it done. And I've been trying to work with a company, but they're not doing what I want them to do. So that sucks a little bit. I mean, that's been a struggle for me to get the resume. I can't write my own resume. My resume is like this matter-of-fact timeline, like here's everything I've done, and it's 10 miles long. And of course, that's not what future employers want to look at. It's not something I'd want to look at as somebody interviewing me. I would want a summary of my experience and why I'm qualified to do the job I'm applying for. But for whatever reason, I think everything's important that I've done, and I just can't seem to summarize it. So it is what it is, right? It is what it is, and so I know I need to do that, but I think part of that struggle also is that the realization of, do I really truly want to go back to that world that I spent 18 years of my life in? And I'm good at it. However, as we've talked before, I don't know how passionate I'd be. I can tell you this: wherever I end up next, they get all of me. They don't get part of me. They're gonna get all of me. And you guys know what I'm talking about. There's a lot of people that are in jobs. Hell, even if, just speaking of myself, even in my last year of General Motors, I was doing everything I could to think of what's next. What am I going to do next? How the hell do I get out of here? Of course, that particular job I didn't like, and that had more to do with the HR side of General Motors, not the people I worked with or that I managed. It was the HR people and their bullshit more than anything else. And not specific to anybody, because I had some really good friends in HR, but I guess I'm speaking of more of my upper management and their abuse of the HR system, and then the HR group not having any power to do much about that. So that's a whole nother story for a whole nother day. But anyway, so I've struggled a little bit with that, you know. And it's interesting, I had a friend of mine that we sat down for about an hour or so the other day. We were just shooting the shit and really talking about her job and the fact that she's going to be heading down to Toluca, Mexico, which was my first out-of-country job experience. So my first expat experience was in Mexico, in Toluca. And so we had a conversation for a while. And she mentioned something in the conversation that that kind of was I don't know what you want to call it, but it was kind of a push point for me. She said, well, are you a motivational speaker? And I was like, well, no. No, I'm not. She goes, oh, I thought you were. And I'm not sure where that came from, and I never thought of myself as as being something like that, but it kind of started me heading down this little mental rabbit hole where, you know, I don't know that I'm ever going to be a motivational speaker by any means. I don't think that's something you set out to do. I think if you did, it would be contrived. But I think that I could offer people some value, and I'm just trying to figure out what the best way to do that is, at least in my head. And of course I am writing some of this down as I think through it. But you know, I've got over 20 years now of website development and marketing online, and I've used some amazing tools to teach myself how to do this. And so I'm kind of tiptoeing around the idea of possibly creating a different YouTube channel and a different website that that can help people become better marketers. In my specific group that I would be targeting would be small business and home-based businesses. And there's several different types of those businesses but you know, that group, just like myself, they're always going to struggle. They're going to be great at what they do. So if you own a contracting business, a roofing business, something like that, you know, you're good at that. Or even a dentist's office, something like, you're a dentist, right? You're a roofer. Or let's say you sell essential oils, or you know, or you make crafts. You're really good at what you do, but you realize that in order to have a actual profitable business, you've got to learn how to market, and you have to get online to do that. Well, that's a very daunting task. Somebody who just has money or has enough income stream, they hire that out and they don't become experts. And I think that if you can do that, that's great, because one of the problems that you'll have as you become an expert, you know, as you start to learn how to do different things yourself, is that you may become more of an expert in that field than you are in what you're currently doing. And that happened to me years ago when I got dead set serious about the archery business. I decided I wasn't going to pay. Well, I tried to pay somebody. Nobody could do what I wanted. And so I ended up figuring out how to do things for myself. And what eventually happened was I became better at the marketing side than I did at the archery repair shop, which is what I was talking about when I owned that shop. And so in order to become a better marketer, you start to lose the skill set of what it is you're trying to market sometimes. And so if you can pay for somebody else to do it, that's great, but most of us can't. And it really isn't overly complicated these days. It's just a matter of getting somebody to lead you in the right direction, and somebody maybe you can pop in on every so often. And if they've got a good tool that's going to help make things easier, you can grab those. And so I definitely have a nerdy passion for that kind of stuff. That's kind of where my life has led me over all these years. Even with everything I've done, that's been a pretty constant thing over the last 20 years, is learning how to build websites, learning how to market, reviewing and trying tools that work for people. And so, I don't know, I kind of think that that's the direction I may end up going, and just keeping my current job. And not getting too crazy, you know, at 47 years old, you know, but we'll see. We'll see. I just got to keep continuously developing this idea. And then you never know. I might still end up getting our job. We'll see. The one, you know, I'm one of those people that grew up thinking you can do whatever you want. And you can do anything you want to do. And I just happen to be one of those people that decided to do everything I wanted to, which is slightly fucking retarded at times, but is what it is. Hey, I'm doing good, April. Woo! And actually, you know, so this morning when I first started I told everybody I just wasn't feeling it. Thank God I had this commitment, or else I wouldn't even be up yet. But I can tell you 30 minutes into the ride, I'm actually starting to feel pretty good. So if you think, oh, my weight going, if you look down at the old ticker below, I'm going to announce my actual weight again at 7:30, but it's going to be part of today's topic. But yeah, I haven't lost any weight. Let's leave it at that. No weight loss. God damn it. But topic for today is sabotage, and we'll talk about that in about 5 minutes. So as you can imagine, I have an excuse. A shitty excuse. So the weight loss sucks. But anyway, so this morning I wasn't planning on riding at all. And because I just didn't feel good. I had a little bit of a headache starting. And I will tell you that I drank my secret juice formula before I got started. There's a little bit of pre-workout in there. There is another Alaskan blueberry concoction mixed in, and then a little bit of Kool-Aid. It's not Kool-Aid, but it's funnier to say Kool-Aid. So, like I said, 30 minutes in, I'm feeling pretty damn good. And my stream hasn't fucked up yet, so that's awesome. But OBS did make a significant software update yesterday, and I think that's probably what's helped me a little bit. I am going to play around some settings tomorrow or tonight because there is recognition of my video card, and I want to see how changing over to that affects things, but maybe not, because I might have to just put that back in the old brain locker and worry about another day, because if the stream keeps going like it's going right now, I'm not messing with anything. It's all good. So those of you that have, we got a few more minutes before we start talking about sabotage, but those of you that are streaming out there and you want some kind of music in your background, I'm not paid to say this at all. This is right on YouTube, but you'll notice right up next to my watts, you'll see a little screen there called NCS, which stands for No Copyright Sounds. It is a YouTube channel. Every time I've streamed their music, I have not received a copyright strike. And so there are a lot of channels out there that say they're no copyright, but then once you use their music, they actually give you a copyright strike. It's bullshit, I mean, in my opinion. And part of the thing is they want you to do all these steps. Well, when you're just playing it in the background, it's you can't do those steps. You can't actually list while you're live streaming every single one of the artists. So what I've done is I have a link inside my YouTube channel. You can actually get a link to their to their YouTube channel. And if you want music in your background, if you dig this music, then I would suggest that you go to them and you do that. And of course, I'm using OBS software, so I'm actually able to capture the YouTube screen and put it into that very specific spot. If you want to know how I've done that, you can reach out to me anytime after the stream, and maybe we'll get on a Skype call or something like that, and I'll show you how to do it. So no, it's not a big trick. There are a couple things, and of course, there's people out there that are way better at this than I am. And so just check out YouTube, OBS stuff, and you can figure it out on your own if you want. But if you want me to help you, no problem. We'll just set up a time to, like I said, Skype or whatever works for you, and we'll get that set up for you. So obviously on my stream, I want to make sure that I'm giving them credit, and it's kind of easy to do when you just stick them right up there and everybody can see exactly where it came from. So for me, I don't care what the music is for the background. I just like having it as white noise almost, and actually I've noticed it does help create a little bit of a cadence for me. Now you'll see guys out there wearing different types of earbuds and earphones, and I've recommended a couple of earbuds in the past. I'm currently testing out a single earbud right now, and I've been doing that for over a week. So far it's been working pretty good. There is a lag, which doesn't matter to you guys. So the music is actually coming through at a lower volume than what you're hearing in my ear. So it's a small little sound, or a quieter sound, so I can actually hear myself think or actually talk, which is the struggle. Anyways, I just happened to notice it is 7:30, and it is time to talk about sabotage. So let's start this off with the current weight chart. So you'll see right above my OAF logo the weight loss chart. This is every time I've actually weighed in since I've started this little journey in January, and I haven't weighed in that often, but I use a I just lost the music. Okay. Anyways, so I use a software called Lose It, or I shouldn't say software, an app. And so my scale is a Bluetooth scale. I think it's a healthometer, and it uses this Lose It app. And so I screenshot that, and then I stick it up there for everybody to see that I've been trending towards failure. Yeah, I don't know. Well, yes. So my goal weight is to get to 244 pounds. And I think I have in the ticker down there what that is. Oh, maybe I don't. Anyways, yeah, I'll fix that. But anyways, so here's the truth of the matter. I sabotaged myself yesterday. And, you know, it's something that I think I've done a lot in my life. As I've had success, it's almost like this sadistic thing that I don't really want it. And at the last minute, you know, I push myself to failure for some reason. And, you know, it didn't happen. Well, I'd have to think about it a little bit more. And we're also not trying to completely psychoanalyze my dumb fat ass yet. But you can if you want. Throw whatever suggestions you want in there. That's totally fine. But anyways, so I had weighed myself yesterday morning, and I do weigh myself every day. And I think that it's important for most people to do when they're starting a new program. And the reason I think that that's important is so that you can manage your day-to-day activity and you know, food intake, especially when it's a weight loss program or even a weight gaining program, if that's what you're into. And if you are, fuck you, because I'm not in that right now. I'm in weight loss. However, so I weighed in at 213 pounds yesterday. I'm sorry, I always love to say 200. 313 pounds. And so I had lost 3 pounds since the last week. And I started the day off, actually didn't really eat much of a breakfast. I had a vegetable juice for breakfast instead of, you know, eating anything. And I wasn't even hungry when I ate it, but, you know, you gotta eat something when you wake up. Had all my nice, fun little supplements and vitamins. I probably did say chuck you. More than likely I said chuck you. For anybody on the Twitcher, chuck you it is. So it's also why I have my channel set to you must be over 18 to even view me, because I tend to throw out some chuck bombs every so often. So anyways, so as the day went on, I had my vegetables and my chicken breast for lunch. I had some apples for snacks. Ate a couple oranges yesterday. Came home and the sabotage began. So 2 days ago, I had a nice, beautiful bacon and egg sandwich. Of course, I don't eat a piece of bacon. I eat the whole chuckin' package. See, chuckin'. So I eat the whole package. Well, that was 2 days ago. Well, that tasted pretty damn good. So guess what? When I got home, morning Tina, when I got home last night, well, there's another package of no sugar added bacon in the fridge. So, got another, decided, well, let's have 2 more bacon egg sandwiches. God dang it. 2 bacon egg, and so I ate them. And I'm trying to think what else I ended up eating. Oh, was this last night? That was probably 2 nights ago. 2 nights ago I added another bucket of mashed potatoes. Not a bucket, a couple of potatoes mashed up. Didn't need to do that, but I did. But last night, and I don't think I ate anything else, so I think I was pretty good. So I was, by 7 o'clock or so I was done eating, but as I was going to bed, getting something to drink, I'm like, man, maybe I should do the protein trick and eat some protein before I go to bed. So there was a big old beautiful piece of chicken breast sitting there, and I thought, let's eat that. So I ate that. 5 or 6 hours later, I did not feel sorry, I was reading the messages. So yeah, so needless to say, I woke up this morning feeling like shit, and I weighed 3 pounds more than I did yesterday morning. So I sabotaged myself. And you know, if I would have just kept myself out of the refrigerator, if I would have just had I wasn't hungry, and I never seem to be hungry. It's just like this thing I do. And so I just got to keep fighting the battle. I just got to keep riding the bike, getting on here more than every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And I'm going to get there. I'm not worried about the fact that I'm going to get there. I'm not taking this lightly that I failed again, but son of a gun. Ugh. So there it is. So I sabotaged myself, and I've done that so many times in life where I've been right at the top of my game, and I didn't want to be there for whatever reason. I didn't want to take hold of the fact that I had succeeded, and so I don't know what it is. I mean, even back in my high school days in football, I was the youngest, most valuable player on my football team ever, and that my high school had ever had. And as soon as I got that award, I turned into the biggest piece of shit you can imagine for the next few months, because, you know, I was sitting there, and this is one of those like, oh, cry me a river little things. You know, at that point the year before, my sister was the homecoming queen. My stepmother at the time was the homecoming queen of the same high school. I am now the youngest MVP and captain of the football team. And it was like, you know, everybody's looking at us as this perfect little family, and I'm like, we're as far from that as you can imagine. And guess what? I'm going to show you. So the next thing you know, I spent 3 months of drinking and smoking dope, basically. I mean, it's just this weird thing where, you know, I loved the game, I loved doing what I did, but I didn't like the idea of thinking that I was something that I knew I wasn't. And so I sabotaged myself. Now, I'm not saying that that's got anything to do with my weight loss issues right now, but it seems to be a trend as I look back in life, that right as I'm about to make it, right as I'm about to be the best, I chuck it up somehow. So yeah, no doubt about it. March is another opportunity. I have to get there. There's no doubt. Well, I shouldn't say that. I don't have to get there. I don't have to get to 244 pounds. I can go have the surgery right now with all the risk involved. But that's stupid. So I need to do this. And of course I need you guys to help me get there. Again, as silly as it sounds, you guys being on the ride with me makes me get up. And today would have been one of those days that I didn't get up because I felt like shit when I woke up. But I actually feel really good right now. Now, I'm getting ready to actually start reviewing some of the things I've been using. I am still having an issue with my saddle. By this time of the ride, it's uncomfortable, but that is getting better. Now, I've talked a lot about, and by the way, next Saturday, not this coming Saturday, but the next Saturday, I'm scheduled to go down to Lake Orion, Michigan to bike something or other. I forget the name of it. And they're going to fit me to my bike and get me into the right saddle. And so that should help things quite a bit, is getting this bike set up better and getting the right saddle. I would have just bought the power saddle, but the young man at the shop said, don't do it yet. Let's get you fitted proper, and then we'll go from there. But when I first started, I talked about my Specialized shorts and that how much I really enjoyed them. Well, I've been testing out a different brand of bib shorts for the last month or so. Well, I shouldn't say I test them out, whatever you want to call it. It's what I've been wearing. And on Monday, I actually wore the Specialized again. And believe it or not, they felt like hell. It actually wasn't comfortable at all. And so these bib shorts that I've been wearing, I've got two pairs of them. One's more of a, whatever, one goes to my below my knee, and the other one goes above my knee, however you want to, whatever those are called. I'm not a fashionista. But anyways, these actually are better than the Specialized, which the Specialized were better than all the cheapo brands I'd had in the past. And so I'm going to butcher the name, but it's Przewalski. So Przewalski? I don't know. I don't know what it's called. But these are from Amazon, and they've been great. I mean, they're better than the Specialized shorts for me. So that's been awesome, man. I'm actually happy to report that this brand is better than Specialized, and they're a little bit cheaper. These bibs cost me, I think, $39. Both pairs have been around that price. And so I love that. And this is my first time ever having ever wearing bib shorts. I've always wanted to, because one of the issues that I don't like is that I have a long torso. So even when I get a riding shirt that fits, a lot of times it still rides up on my back. And of course, nobody wants to see plumber crack when you're riding down a trail. So having bib shorts obviously kind of helps you avoid that embarrassment. And so, yeah, I'm happy with the fact that they actually ride really nice, and they've been good for me. So I'll stick a link in there later on to what I'm using. And of course, somebody my size, actually having a pair that works. So one of the biggest issues as far as us big old fat guys that we have when it comes to cycling is that trying to figure out exactly what fits you is a challenge. So, because most of this stuff is not sized for us. And so they try, but it never seems to fit. So I'm actually wearing a, what is it? 4U Cycle jersey, and I think it's a 4X, which I don't wear a 4X in normal clothes. And then I think I have a 3 or 4 or 5, I don't know, pair of shorts. And again, they actually fit. But I've had other companies, and even this company in a different style of jersey, where I bought the exact same sizes and they just don't work. So for any of you gravity challenge peeps out there, this stuff works great, man. This fits good. I like the bibs. I like the fashionable black to hide all the fat. You guys can't actually see it, even though it's all right there. It's hard for you to see, and that's good for my ego. So I don't have to be overly embarrassed about doing what I'm doing right now. And even though this does actually suck a little bit, I mean, nobody wants to air their dirty laundry or their big old fat tractor tires hanging around their waist, you know, but the idea here is that I will be successful in this goal of getting down to at least 244 pounds. Ideally, I'd like to get into the 220s at least, possibly lower than that. And I'd like to keep cycling as a passion and try to remove the weight room out of it. I'm not saying I don't want to lift weights, but I don't want that to be what strokes my ego. I'd rather have something cardio related stroking my ego. It's just going to be better for me long term. So my goals need to eventually change, and I just got to keep fighting through the battle of eating and overeating and sabotaging myself. I just got to keep fighting, you know. And really, I really didn't finish this topic. So when it comes to sabotage, there's no question that you sabotage yourself, but even people around you. You know, if you're trying to lose weight or you're trying to get healthier, everybody's got to be on board with that. You know, I mean, I've got to fight through things at work sometimes. You know, I've got to fight through, you know, the donuts and the cookies and the you-know-whats that get brought in. And at home, I currently live alone, so I don't have to deal with that too much other than on the weekends with my daughters. But, you know, other people can sabotage you also. And it's not because they're trying to, it's just because they don't have the same goals as you do. And so a lot of times it's easier when you're just left alone and you don't have food and things like that stuck in front of you, you know, because some of us, this is a little bit more of a disease than it is anything else. I mean, food is our drug, and you've heard that before, and no matter what your intentions, those moments of weaknesses are the same as somebody that, you know, has alcohol issues or drug issues and things like that. And I'll get through it. I mean, listen, I know I can do it. I've done it before. I've also quit smoking in my life, and I loved smoking. I wasn't somebody that smoked out of, you know, any other reason than I really liked to do it. As dumb as that may sound, I was a smoker that liked smoking, but I quit. And I quit in a very short period of time. And I used some different mental tricks to help me that I still use today if I ever have that urge, what I did last time, I don't think I'll ever have the urge again. The problem with food is that for any kind of a food addict, and that's good or bad, is that you are going to eat no matter what. You can't not eat. So you're not going to quit cold turkey as you could maybe with drugs, alcohol, or cigarettes or things like that. So it is I think it's a slightly different dynamic, or at least it gives you some form of an excuse. If you're tracking what I'm trying to say here, you almost feel like you have an excuse, you know, because you have to eat. You're not going to not eat. You know, you're going to drink things other than water, which you don't need. You can actually survive on just water, believe it or not. I know us over here in the United States, that seems to be a foreign idea for most people, but it's true. But we end up, because we have to have fluids and we have to have food, we are easier to fall off the bandwagon, I guess would be the best way to say it. And it just happens. You know, the ideal situation is you're locked up in a box and you're fed exactly what you should eat and only what you should eat and only when you should eat it. But that's called prison. And I'm not going to prison. Yet. So, just, you know, just bear with me. Stay on the journey with me. I'm gonna get there. These weigh-in Wednesdays, as shitty as they've been for the last couple of weeks, it's gonna start happening. I'm hoping this super juice I'm trying now in my morning drink is actually going to help. Hey, I see you've messaged me, but I got my glasses off. I can't read it. So I'll get to whatever the messages are later. After the stream. I do apologize, but one of the mistakes I made last night, as I've done once before, is I forgot to turn the temperature down. And so my house is very, very warm this morning. So I got an extra bit of sweat in the eyeballs. And so I've got the glasses off. And it is what it is. So now is the time, if you want to roast me, do it, because I can't see what the hell you're saying anyways. Woo! And this hasn't been too strenuous of a morning as far as my ride goes, I don't think. I haven't paid attention to any of my data, but it's another one of those rides where we're almost towards the end, and I barely realized that I've been riding. Even though it's been probably a little bit easier of a ride, I'm glad I did it, because I did not want to wake up this morning. I definitely didn't feel good. And I feel pretty good right now. I will tell you that last week was the first time in years that I got the runner's high, or cycler's high, and it felt awesome. So I've reached a point where this is starting to kick in, and the endorphins are hitting me, so I'm not so much hitting the pain issue. I'm actually getting into a point where I'm actually feeling really good after I get done with the ride. And it's almost that drug effect where I want more. I don't want to even quit. And so that's been awesome. I'm glad I hit that again. And I wasn't trying to, I forgot all about runner's high. But I'm glad I'm here. I'm glad I'm actually feeling it again, because I know that's going to help me stay addicted to this activity. And we all know that you are the result of your activities. At least I am. So if I sit around like a sloth all day, like I have to do in my job, I look like a bit of a sloth. If I get up in the morning and exercise and start moving, I'm probably going to have ginormous thighs, but I will get down to my ideal weight, at least the weight that I need to be for this surgery. Oh, well, there you go. I'm almost at an hour of riding. We got a few more minutes before 8 o'clock, but I'll probably cut it short here. I thank everybody for jumping on and helping me on this journey again. We'll be back again Friday morning. I do not have a topic picked out, so if you've got something that you think would be fun to chat about or hear me ramble on about, please throw it in the comments. And one of the things that we may do in the future is I'm going to look into possibly adding a Skype chat on this and allowing some of you to get on and talk along with me. I think that is going to be, that's going to be a fun thing. So as I'm using this product, my friend Jennifer Moore is the one that's the representative of the company that I'm using. And if I get to a point where I want to recommend it, I may even get her on here and have her share what the product is and how you can get some for yourself. But just give me time so I can give you my opinion before you start asking for what it is. Because if it's not helping me, if I don't feel a difference, there's no point to saying it. But again, we had a really good stream this morning. I wouldn't be here without you. I would not have woke up. We're going to try to finish the goddamn thing all good. And I said, God darn, for anybody on the Twitch. Woo! Woo! All right, guys, we will see you Friday. I love you. And ride on, brother.